All right, guys, we are live. We're here. We're here. I'm now the one behind the computer. So if anything goes wrong or if there's any technical difficulties, I can't get out of it. It's completely my fault. But welcome into Monday's edition of Money Shots. Myself, the lovely Kelly in Vegas, and of course our big brain specialist Stephen Che, who unfortunately him and the Che Hive had to take a big ol' L yesterday from Big Daddy Joe. But besides that, Kelly, Che, how was the weekend? We'll start with ladies first.
Megan, the weekend overall was really good. I kind of got a little pissy on Saturday. Bowl games, I said it. I don't want to bet these bowl games, but I said, all right. I had already bet Florida plus 10.5. You and I went over that on the show. It was down to 9. I said, all right, let me tweet this out. I think this could be a touchdown type game, even with all the opt-outs. Florida still has, stud players, right?
Right.
And then, the Cincinnati line moved against me, and I was like, mother F. Like, I knew it was a loser, but I had already tweeted it out Friday night. College basketball, being really selective has been great. Yeah, of course, Saturday had 5 plays, went 3-2, and I'll take that every single Saturday now until the day that I die. Yesterday, 3-0-1 with my plays that I gave out. We did miss one of the divisional unders. That was on Saturday in Buffalo, but divisional unders went 4-1 this weekend. So overall, a really great weekend, but I'm going to continue to be really selective on these bowl games. I did throw a little bit on Big Ev's UConn plus 12 because I'm sitting in my office. I'm handicapping games. I need some noise on in the background. So what a better game than the Myrtle Beach Bowl.
I hear you. Sorry, this is me all messing things up already. I'm trying to get us live on Twitter. We're live on YouTube and Facebook and a blog, but just not on Twitter. Probably pretty important to get that one up. Hopefully it should be coming up anytime. But if not, then go watch us on the YouTube.
Let me see. I think I can do it. What sportsbook?
Yeah.
And then it's Money Shots on here. Sorry, talk through it all.
I love that you guys know how to do all of this. Shout out to Megan and Che for being far more tech savvy than me. Megan, today, what are we talking about? We got some college basketball on deck. We got some NBA.
We have some college, but not a big day, not a big slate. And if I'm going to be honest, the lines haven't particularly moved in my direction as I'm sitting here talking to you guys. What I did take, and I really like this game. Whenever I looked at Odd Sharks, looked at KenPom, it just didn't really make sense. But that's Western Illinois. I took them minus the 1.5. I think they're down to one, which obviously not a huge difference there. But basketball, that one really has been kind of killing me lately. But look, the Leathernecks, if you just look at all the stats, it looks like they should be able to win this game with ease. I'm not exactly sure why this line is the way that it is. Che, have you figured it out on your end?
Yeah, so we're on Sportsbook Twitter. I don't personally, under my login, have access to Money Shots Twitter, so you might just want to retweet it on there.
Got it.
I can put it on Maine if you want. I wasn't.
Oh, no, not Maine. Let's just keep it on with what we have here, and then I'll talk to all of the other producers before and just to make sure that this is what they want from us. But besides that, Kelly, I also have Delaware at Rider, another one that did not move in my favor. But they have one of the best mid-major basketball players on their team in Nelson Jr., and he has a pair of 2 players next to him that are hitting double digits right now. Rider, no disrespect to them. This one was a very hard game to look at, but I really like the Blue Hens here. They were catching, as I said, 1. They're now catching 2, which, if you like them still, like if you like them like I do, then you'll probably like the 2 better anyway. So it doesn't really matter. Then last but not least, I took the UMKC Roos. The Kangaroos. I love that name. Also, I think it's really cute. Just pretty much had to pick them. So not a big slate for me today. A lot of these small schools that you really have to dive into. But if I had to pick a favorite play, it would be Western Illinois. Definitely the Leathernecks.
Megan, I definitely expect to see like 8 plays from you. This is like totally your type of slate. Like I can't even name half these teams. I have to Google who their coaches are. Like these are like these like so under the radar teams. Of course, today is the day that Jeff Nadeau is like, hey, come on Monday. And I'm like, oh yeah, no problem. I look at Tuesday's slate. I'm like, shit, I should be doing Tuesday's show.
I will say that if I didn't have it is Christmas break, so I have both kids at home. So I will say that trying to handicap like I normally do these very small schools, it's a lot harder when your auditory sensory issues are going awry, when you have like bangs and dings and donks and yells and me occasionally yelling stop it. But it's okay. Those are the 3 plays today, though: Western Illinois, Delaware, and UMKC. I also like Chicago State at Illinois State a little bit. I didn't give it out, but I did play it personally, if anyone was wondering. But those are the college basketball games that I like today. Very small slate.
Yeah, Megan, I played 2 college basketball games today. Neither of which are my plays, full disclosure. As I mentioned, I don't really follow these small schools. I focus on a lot of Power 5, and I know there's not a ton of value there, but I'm looking at situations. I'm looking at teams with a home-road dichotomy that is either very strong or very weak, et cetera, et cetera. I did play Cal State Northridge tonight, minus 3.5. That number is long gone. And the other one I did play that is still available is Charleston, the lovely Cougars, minus 8. Over Coastal Carolina. That one comes courtesy of my good friend Dave. He sent it to me this morning. He said, take a look at this team. I'm really bullish on them, and I agreed with him. So I laid 8 points. Not very much like me to do, but every
sometimes though, just like
you got to get out of your element, right?
Yeah, like how you told me, if it's too many points, if it's right, it's right. Like I need to figure out how to get back into that same groove I was in last college basketball season, just avoiding bad teams and just picking the teams that should be winning.
Yeah, I do think that's a really good strategy no matter what sport you're handicapping. If you just take out those 3 or 4 bad teams, right? Or teams that you don't have a good read on, whatever that means to you, and you just say, okay, I'm not going to get involved with these specific teams. Not only is it helping with the discipline side and not having too many games, but it also helps you avoid terrible bad beats like the one time I took the Jets this year. The Jets have been on my do not bet list for seasons. And the one exception I made this year just so happened to be a fumble 6 to end it. I mean, there's sometimes the ball just doesn't bounce your way with certain teams. And the Jets is my kryptonite in the NFL. So I just stay away from games typically involving them. So if you do the same thing for college basketball or NBA, whatever that may be, that is my recommendation. Che, I know we got a nice, actually, NBA slate tonight, and you have some good stuff over at the Trust the Data account. Let's get started. And I know Megan doesn't do a lot with NBA, but I'm here for the winners. I'm ankle deep right now. I'm ankle deep in the NBA.
I'm here for winners though. Like, so if you guys got some toony overs or some whatever we can cook up with, I'm in. Let's go, Che.
Sure. There's a couple that I like. I haven't put out my play yet. I'm still finalizing it for today. We've won 2 in a row, so happy about that. But looking to start streaking. One that always kind of stands out to me, and this matchup specifically, is Joel Embiid against the Raptors. He doesn't perform very well against them. 8 of his last 10 games, his combined number for points, rebounds, and assists is 46.5, which is very large. And I understand Tyrese Maxey is out, and they're dealing with injuries themselves, but he just doesn't really hit this against the Raptors. Nick Nurse and the Raptors tend to swarm him and make him give it up. He has not cleared this number in 8 of his last 10 games against Toronto specifically. That's one I'm looking at. Another one I'm looking at, yet to be finalized. I would like to see it go down on our book. Is Trae Young over assists. Right now it's at 10.5, which is at plus money, which I may end up taking. If it goes down to 9.5 and it's 140 or a little bit more favorable, I might take that. That will probably be the play tonight, but I'm waiting to kind of see what happens there. Clint Capella is out, but he's played Orlando 3 times this year. He's averaging over 14 assists against them in those matchups. So I don't see a lot changing. Although Orlando's playing really well, I think they've won like 5 or 6 in a row. Another one, it's a little bit juiced. I'm waiting for the full Hornets line to come out. I think we're waiting to see what's going on with Terry Rozier, but LaMelo Ball over 3.5 3-pointers. He just chucks threes. He's at his last couple of games, so I like LaMelo Ball tonight. That number is not yet out on our book, but I anticipate it'll be 3.5. Keegan Murray is also another one where I'm looking at his over 19.5 combined points, rebounds, and assists tonight. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm going to put out my official play probably in about an hour or two, but waiting for full lines to come out before I make any judgment calls.
Okay, so Lions Collectibles, Che just attempted to give you some winners, but he will have them tweeted out a little bit later.
Yep.
Since we did start the show a little fumbly, that's my fault. Let's start back talking to some football. How did you guys do this weekend? Kelly, I know you probably crushed all your unders, maybe besides like one.
No, one under did not crush. We actually just had 4-1 on divisional unders. Going to look at them again. Working on them right now. But they're almost like a blind system play, Megan. And I think that's something that people have to treat it as such. Because the week before it went 2-3. Then we saw some 3-2s, 4-1s. Like we're gonna end the season strong. The bookmakers are getting really tight with numbers. But I wanted to pivot back to NBA really quick because something that Chase said in a game that I have circled. So I haven't been giving out NBA because it is really early in the season for me. I'd rather focus on what I need to, and that's college football, NFL, and college basketball. But I'm kind of ankle deep, if you will. It's kind of every day just looking at the NBA slate, dipping my toe in the water, seeing what I can find. You know what I mean? But I'm not wading out there deep until like April. That's just how I've always been, Megan. But one of the things that I am looking for is trends, right, in the NBA. And we're looking at who does well in the first half, first quarter, things like that. And my good friend Jeff does entire spreadsheets. And that's the best part about this industry is like you share your information with this guy. He shares his information with you. So I did take the Portland Trailblazers first half over the OKC Thunder. It's currently 3 at the Barstool Sportsbook. Portland 14-5-1 in the first half of their last 20 games. And then they're also 9-2 in that stretch as the first half favorite. So I'm going to take them here. And that is, again, just a system play that these guys have been following for years. And then the other one I'm looking at that I wanted Che's opinion on was the Raptors +7.
Yeah, I like that. The Raptors, Pascal Siakam and Joel Embiid have a great friendship, and they both kind of bring their A games against each other, especially Siakam. But again, the way the Raptors play Joel Embiid is a little bit different than most teams that is not specifically stat friendly. They do have back and forth. They do like, if you're getting 7 points with Toronto, it's hard not to like. James Harden is back, but I do like Toronto there. One other thing I would point out about that other bet is that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, OKC's best player, is currently questionable. He missed their last
game.
Questionable. Also, I want to point out we're back on a different system, so we are back able to see all the comments. So if you have a winner, if you have something that a little tip for anybody, no disgusting tips though. Put them in the comments.
Not those kind of tips. Just
sports
tips.
Would love to play them. Would love to get involved. But now that basketball talk is over, how much I love the NBA. That just shows you how much I care.
Pelicans are good.
Go Pels.
They are good.
I'll go to a Pelicans game. I will yell go Pels. I will drink the biggest beers, and I'll put a bet in first responsibly.
That's the game of the night. New Orleans, Milwaukee tonight.
Well, it's more like it's more just like a fun thing for me. You got to have one sport that you can just keep fun, and I feel like, I got to keep the integrity of the NBA, right? I don't that don't probably
whatever helps you sleep at night, Megan.
Whatever helps me sleep at night. There is a bowl game going on right now. Did you take it, Kelly? I took Marshall minus the 12. Wonder what.
So I was laughing with Jack Mack. He had commented that Big Ev took the 12, and it's Monday. I'm sitting in my office. I'm looking at college basketball. Sometimes you just need some like white noise to avoid whoever's outside your window making
nothing.
Yeah, and so I took
the.
I know. I took the +12 just so I could have it going on. This is like one of those games. Like that's what we have the Myrtle Beach Bowl. So like just middle of the afternoon on Monday. Got nothing else going on, nothing of any importance. I better sit on my couch and
I looked at
watch
UConn for a second, but I felt like if Marshall got out there quick and got up on them, UConn with that run game isn't going to be able to score points. And here we are. Okay, so let's get on to the NFL. As I said, Kelly, you crushed everything but your one divisional under. I was lucky to push with the Titans, and then I was terrified of that 3.5 with the Bengals, but obviously, Stephen Shea, what happened?
I mean, we're not executing right now. The fake punts, what really turned it all around for my guy Giovanni Bernard.
I
Very
almost clipped
close.
you saying that before you did the sad Giovanni Bernard, and I go, no, I'm gonna wait for Che because I have a feeling it will have a different tempo.
Yeah, it was the saddest one I've ever done. The only guy on the team that was not aware that they were running a fake punt, and it's tough. He's did you see Kevin Durant talked about how he handled it? He got into like not a kerfuffle, but like he got into like a little spat
Great word.
after the game.
No, but that was a great word. Kerfuffle.
Yeah, he there was some disagreement how he wanted to like leave and go see his family. They were like, "Oh, we want to talk to you because you're involved in one of the biggest plays of the game." He's like, "Well, I gotta go see my family." It was a whole thing, and anyway, yeah, that was really the downfall of the game. Not to say that would have necessarily changed it, but I mean, it was 17-3 at that point. They pick up that first down. They're driving. Hopefully things go well. Instead, it turned out to be the quarter from hell. 4 turnovers. It was awful. 33 straight points. We're not a good football team right now. And I did tell Big Cat this morning. I think if things break right, we can.
I saw that.
We can. We have enough firepower to win at least one playoff game, but we are far from that right now.
Che. I think it's time. I hate to say this, especially about like anybody, but like when I was a kid, I remember Michael Jordan quit basketball to go play baseball, right? And then it was just like, okay, he's not as good at baseball as he is at basketball, obviously. Yep. Then he goes back and he's like, I'm going to play basketball again.
With the Wizards.
Yeah, it just never was the same. And yes, Tom went into Tampa and won that Super Bowl that first year, but I still, for the life of me, do not understand why he didn't just retire. Just like, and you know what? Let me silence the haters. I can win a Super Bowl with any team. I'm out. And that's the problem, because what happens is you get this nice cohesive unit of this Bucs team. I mean, that defense was pretty much all in place. The only person they brought in for him was really Gronk, right?
Antonio Brown.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Good old Antonio. I forgot about him. But anyway, you know what I mean? Like there was this team and he was just the plug and play that they needed, versus now where half of the team is decimated from that Super Bowl winning team just 3 years ago. And it sucks because it's really hard to maintain what they did in New England for all those years. And the difference really is Bill Belichick. Speaking of Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I was about to say, but then look at Bill Belichick. What the fuck's happening there?
Well, you can blame Matt Patricia. You can blame Bill. You can blame a number of factors.
When did Belichick hang it up?
People are very angry on the internet with Mac Jones. Very, very angry on
Mac
the internet.
Jones is angry with Mac Jones. Dude, Mac Jones has a legit anger issue. I don't care who, I don't know him personally, but he gets more mad, and he gets like crazy mad to where he's like laughing, smiling, like yelling mad. Like those are the type of people that you want to just avoid at all costs.
Yeah, that's me. That's me anymore. Like it's like the Joker laugh. Like, okay, I may kill you, but here we are. Yeah, no, I got you.
So you're Mac Jones. Got it.
I will take that though, because I do have the Pats under 8.5 wins. So I needed that because I was still very concerned whether the Bills would play week 18 or not. It looks like they're going to have to for a home field advantage. So maybe it doesn't come into play, but that was a game I definitely needed them to win that I had $0 on. I was with you, Megan, on the Titans on the 3.
Very lucky to get that push.
Were we though? So
yeah, we could have won outright. We could.
I was at the Bucs game,
and outright.
It was kind of a wonky thing because when you're down watching the Bucs game, you catch glimpses, on the Jumbotron of like the scores and stuff. And I was seeing on my phone, I totally thought we were going to overtime. Bucs game was over. We're going up the escalators to club level. I'm like, okay, cool. We're not getting only one, but we're getting 2 games in overtime, or so I thought. And then I got up there. I'm like, wait, no games are in overtime. What happened? So how did we get lucky to just push that 3?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
I'm so defeated with that push.
I am. I look. That's what I'm saying. Like I thought that I was happy about it, and then the more I think about it, maybe I'm not so happy. But I will say, what do you guys think was the most surprising game of the weekend? Like the Jags upsetting, who did they play? The Cowboys, or do you think the Chiefs almost getting beaten by the Texans?
Probably the Jags Cowboys, to be honest. I hold the Cowboys in very high regard. And Jacksonville, it has been playing really well as of late, but I mean, the Chiefs always have these massive spreads and do not cover. So I wasn't surprised that they I mean, I was
Yeah, but
surprised-
almost losing outright is kind of ballsy.
Yeah, I was surprised it went to overtime, but I'm not surprised at the result. I was surprised Dallas lost.
And at
So
this
Megan-
point, do you think the
Sorry.
Eagles are more scared of the Cowboys, or the Cowboys are more scared of the Eagles?
Well, I'm really concerned that Jalen Hurts isn't 100% and might not be playing this week. Look at that line move and tell me that there's not something
I haven't
weird going
looked
on
at
there.
what is the what happened. With
It's
that?
now +2 at Barstool. It was 1 this morning, and I got a text that said, "Hey, just FYI," because they know that I bet on Mondays. Jalen's hurt, and I'm like, "Cool, I already put the Eagles in a teaser. Let's ride."
Speaking of teasers, the Ravens teaser last week just
Oh,
what a fucking just want to bury your head in the ground game. That was just not nice. That was just I lost the Ravens in the teaser spots have not been the greatest for me this year. I'm just gonna go
I would
ahead
agree
and
with
throw
that.
that out there.
either they win outright or they don't cover the teaser, and so it's just better.
And besides that, the Raiders getting the win over the Patriots. Good job, McDaniels. Saints beating the Falcons. I'll never bet that game. That game is always such a fucking crapshoot. It doesn't matter if it's Drew Brees and Matt Ryan. It was still a crapshoot. Someone asked, the Eagles clinched. Shouldn't that mean they rest this week? I'll give that to the Che. What do you think? Do you think they rest this week?
No, because they're still fighting for the number 1 overall seed. So that gets
Nobody
the
should
bye.
start resting until at least week
there's 3 weeks left.
17, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you rest this week, you're looking at a month off, potentially with the bye. So no, everyone's playing for the number 1 overall seed.
All right, that's the answer to your question. Let's get into tonight's game. Since not unless you want to talk about the Bucs Bengals. You've kind of already covered it.
Megan, we'd like to forget about that. And I didn't even have a single American dollar bet on that game. I just randomly got invited last minute. And I was kicking myself as I was walking in. I was like, man, I should really bet the Bucs. Like, this is ugly. This is disgusting. Like, I should bet the Bucs. And we get into club level, get to talking. Next thing you know, get a couple drinks, and the game had already kicked off. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm late to the party. I'll look for in-game. There was no in-game to find unless you like the Bengals side. Oh, sorry, Che.
Is Brett Michaels still alive? Didn't he almost die recently? Like of almost like a heart attack?
I
Yeah,
think he's
something
talking
weird
about
happened.
Brett the Hitman Hart, aka the excellence of execution, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will
The
be.
Undertaker is fantastic.
You guys want to know? I know nothing about wrestling. I know that sounds like a shocking development, but I know like zero. Besides Hulk Hogan, I think that would be like if you said name a professional. John Cena, I got 2. That's all I got.
The Rock.
Yeah, you got to know
The
more
Rock.
than that. You got like in Venus and
Never heard of them.
Some more of the lady wrestlers. I used to know a ton of lady wrestlers because my brothers watched a lot of wrestling, and I was always like, I want to look like those girls. And I don't, but now I'm kind of
No,
glad.
you don't.
now I'm
no,
kinda
no.
glad
As a matter of fact, you
that
don't.
that I don't look like China. All right, let's go ahead and move on to tonight's game. It is Monday, which means it's Making Money Mondays. Jeff Buffum, you're late to the show. If you want to catch basketball winners, look at tweets or go rewatch the show on the Barstool Sportsbook YouTube. But let's move into tonight's game. You have the Rams at the Packers. I believe the line is now 7.5. But it's Making Money Mondays. So if you like the Packers, you can get a -6.5 in my parlay, along with the Packers team total over 23.5, along with Christian Watson over the 46.5 receiving yards. And I'll tell you, the Packers, though they, haven't been the Packers of the past, they have done well at home, and they've scored over that 23.5 in the last 3 out of the last 4 games. And Christian Watson has been Aaron Rodgers' boo thing. He's been just constantly targeted. I think he had like 7 touchdowns in his last 4 games. He's gone over the receptions in his last 4. This 46.5 his last 6 games. So again, this parlay hit 2 weeks ago with the Saints. It should have hit last week if Ramondre Stevenson.
Oh,
that
was such a bad beat.
That today, I've practiced it so much, but that would have hit if he didn't get injured last game because he had like 3 catches before he left the game. This week, I'm feeling it. I know 7.5 is a lot of points for the Packers, who have not been the Packers of the past, to lay, and I understand that. But that's why on my parlay, you get 6.5. Make sure you opt in, $25, and if it doesn't hit, for every leg that does, you get $10 back in bonus cash. So now y'all talk.
Oh, now we talk. Okay, great. Megan, there's a lot to unpack in these two shitty teams in a game I don't even want to watch. I would have much rather had the Myrtle Beach Bowl be tonight and this be at 2 p.m. today. I think the big thing to look at here with the Rams, and that scares me when wanting to bet the Packers tonight, is LA has like we're out. We don't care. Now we're just playing spoiler. Like they got a new quarterback, Baker Mayfield. Somehow goes 98 yards.
Is he going to be able to replicate that game? Like in the Baker cycle?
Who knows? What have we seen from Baker his entire career? Moments of greatness and moments of absolute utter dog shit. You want me to try to guess when Baker Mayfield's going to be at his best?
Yeah, I want you to handicap it.
I am going to handicap it. I'm going to tell you right now. I think the line is getting a little out of control, but I think the easiest move here is just to tease the Packers down to 1.5. Yes, Mayfield came back last week with 2 touchdown drives in the fourth quarter against the Raiders. I don't think he's going to do that here. Yes, the Packers secondary scares the shit out of me every single game, particularly Mr. Kevin King. He is the bane of my existence on that defense. If I need the Packers to cover, he always gets caught up in blown coverage. Every single time, Megan, it never fails. He should be on my do not bet list. But that being said, I think it looks really easy to just tease the Packers. We're asking them to win here at home. You mentioned Christian Watson. He has been so good. He's like Aaron Rodgers' new little security blanket there. Mm-hmm. I do think that Green Bay is going to have to push the envelope, right? And that's how they're going to win the game like they did right before the bye. They got a lot of problems, and I'm trying not to overthink it because I can't trust the Packers are just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games. I also can't trust the Rams in a cold weather environment.
And they're only scoring 15 points per game.
That is hostile as shit. So for me, I'm going no-brainer. Primetime unders 27 and 18 against the spread this year. Monday Night Football unders hitting at a really great rate. Let me read this. My good friend Ski texted to me this morning. I did fact check it. It is real. The under is 12-5. That's over 70% when both teams have 8+ days of rest on Monday Night Football. The under is 5-0 when the total is 41 or less since 1992. There's only been 5 times Monday Night Football. So those two things correlate really well. They're under 39.5. I'm just not going to overthink it.
I mean, I get it. I'm terrified, though, because I just have a feeling that Aaron Rodgers is going to have one of those Aaron Rodgers cold weather Lambeau games where I know he loved going off against Chicago. Well, he loved to go off against the Rams.
Of course, he loves beating up in Chicago. Wouldn't you?
Yeah. But
if you're having, Megan, think about this. If you're having the worst season of your career, but you still beat the team that you hate the most, it's just like, all right, we suck, but you suck worse. Like, that's how that's got to feel for him.
Yeah, I guess. But I there's just no way that I'm backing Baker Mayfield to be able to replicate something twice in a row. Go ahead, Che. I know you have something good.
Yeah, there are a few props that I like for tonight's game. One is actually Baker Mayfield's favorite target, or one of his favorite targets, Ben Skowronek, over 2.5 catches. I put a parlay together. I'm going to put it out a little bit later, but I can give it here first. Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Ben Skowronek over 2.5 receptions. AJ Dillon over 1.5 reception. I teased the under up to 50.5 and went with the under. Aaron Rodgers under half an interception thrown. And then I'm debating between the 6th leg, either over 2.5 touchdowns by the Packers or over 3.5 field goals. PFT is trying to get me to do the field goal bet, which has a good rate of hitting in prime time, but I don't trust Mason Crosby. If that would come down to a Mason Crosby kick makes me very nervous.
I take that back, Che. You're right. Kevin King is the bane of my existence on defense. Mason Crosby, man. You're right. I like that over 3.5 field goals, but you're so right. I'll freak out if he misses.
And I love the odds, and I don't think they can score that much, but I also don't trust the kicker. So,
but you also think that Aaron Rodgers can throw over essentially 2 passing touchdowns, which means you lean for the Packers to win the game and cover the spread, I would assume.
Yeah, so I could just make a Packers money line. Yeah, you're right.
All right, there you go. Yeah, okay. We're
Megan, Kelly, and Che should form an alliance right now and go final 3 in the next Barstool Survivor.
Are you guys going to do one of those in the future?
I would
I have
absolutely
asked.
love
I
to.
said, put me on, let me know, just tell me where to be. I'm totally down. I am not good at those games of strategery, though.
The
I'm too loyal.
most
I'm
fun
not a
thing
good liar.
I see. I think I'd be very good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my Southern charm mixed with a little bit of ingenuity, mixed with being out of
See, I feel like they'll do
office.
to me what they did to Billy, and they'll just boot me on the first show. They're like, she's a psycho. We're going to fucking get rid of her right now.
See, that's why
what's
you got to play the
and then I'll be
long game.
pissed.
It's the long con, Kelly. I mean, you were a bottle service girl. You know how to make some fucking, make some
I know how to
money
make
overnight.
money.
So just exactly. So just play slow play and pretend like you're going to get money from all of these people at the end, which technically, if you win, you do.
Yep.
All right.
So just a word of advice from someone who's never been on a reality TV show in
Me
their life.
either.
But all right, guys. Thanks for joining us today. We will be back here Thursday to talk some more. I believe Mency's going to be joining us on Thursday. And then Kelly and I do our spaces on Saturday mornings, which could turn into video, but I would rather not have to wake up. I really like doing spaces from my bed Saturday morning.
I just picture Megan like this. Phone
I
on
am.
her boobs, hungover, talking
I'm not
college basketball.
hungover. No, I'm not.
I'm teasing. I'm
hungover every
teasing.
Saturday. But
Oh,
some
just every other
Saturdays-
one?
Some Saturdays I am.
We love it. And actually, I love talking about the games with you, Jeff Nadeau, David Blattman, because it really gave me some really good insight as to what I was going to add to my card that morning. So really good stuff there. Che, I'm going to be texting you because I'm in the fantasy football playoffs and I'm absolutely shitting myself.
Well, don't put on some Depends. That seems like kind of a messy situation. Make sure you head on over to the Barstool Sportsbook. Opt in, $25, Making Money Mondays. As I said, you got the Pack -6.5. You have the team total of the Packers over 23.5, and you have Christian Watson over 46.5 receiving yards. Feels like a winner, folks. Kelly, you'll be on with your beloved Nadeau. I guess you guys made hands, shook up.
We haven't done that yet, but
Maybe
he did
I'll do
DM
it
me and
tonight.
asked me to come on his college basketball show. I've not agreed to a truce yet. We'll see how today's show goes. I mean, I may have to call him out on some bullshit like I did Saturday morning, but we'll see. I did search for some old tweets to see if they were still there. He did delete them. So that's a step in the right direction.
Step in the right direction, indeed. And Che, he will tweet out all of his big-brained stuff from the Trust the Data account. And, we'll be back here Thursday with Mency, Saturday Spaces, then back on again with Che on Monday. I hope you all have a winning weekend. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Barstool Sportsbook YouTube page. Follow us all here. And don't forget to hop in the comments next time because we're going to start reading a whole lot more, especially funny ones. Okay? Love you guys. Have a great Monday.
Should I, Megan? Nope, she already left me.
Shouldn't end the broadcast.